My best friend is a professional relationship tester. She said she was afraid of me getting hurt by scumbags. So, every time I started dating someone, she would pose as their ideal type and relentlessly pursue them until she successfully seduced them into bed. Every single time, she would take a photo in bed and send it to me. My dear bestie, if I hadn't protected you, you would have been fooled by another scumbag again. See how well I treat you? I was tortured to the point of a mental breakdown. I cut ties completely and moved to another city. Later, I met the love of my life, Xieching Yuan. On our wedding day, I ran into my best friend, who was disguised as a makeup artist. Bestie, let me finish testing him for you before you get married. She drugged me, put on my wedding dress, and crawled into Xieching Yuan's bed. I woke up just in time, brought people into the bridal suite, and had her sent to prison. Later, I suffered a massive hemorrhage during childbirth. Xieching Yuan watched me struggle in agony, but refused to sign the papers to save me. Yuan just wanted to give herself to me before the wedding to fulfill a wish, but you sent her to prison, causing her to take her own life. She was even carrying my child when she died. You and that vile spawn in your womb must pay with your lives. Only then did I realize that the man I thought was my soulmate had long ago fallen in love with my best friend. I died tragically with a deep grievance, and even my ashes were thrown into a stinking sewer by him. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day my best friend, disguised as the makeup artist, appeared at my wedding. Opening my eyes, I saw Jiang Yuan again. That familiar and beautiful face. Just like in my previous life, she was pointing at my face and laughing hysterically. The people around were also holding up their phones, snapping photos of my face. I think I know exactly what they are laughing at. I looked calmly into the mirror. Sure enough, I saw it on my face, just like in my previous life. My face was stamped with a blue qualified ink mark, the kind used on pork. What's wrong? What happened that's so funny? The door was pushed open. Xieching Yuan, dressed in a tuxedo, walked in with a smile in his eyes. Jiang Yuan giggled and lunged forward to grab his wrist. Mr. Xia, I prepared a little pre-wedding joke for you guys. Don't you think it's interesting? Her foot slipped. She let out a soft cry. And as if she had lost her balance, she tumbled right into Xieching Yuan's arms. She looked up at him with a flushed face. Sorry, this was her favorite little seduction trick. I had seen it countless times before. In my previous life, when I opened my eyes, I saw Jiang Yuan, who was like a living nightmare. I saw the wedding makeup I had looked forward to so much, ruined by her, watching her joke around and use the same old tricks to seduce my husband again. My fear and anger flooded out like a deluge. I screamed and rushed forward to pull her away, slapping her face and yelling, "Get out! You want to seduce my boyfriend again, don't you? I won't let you succeed." Xieching Yuan immediately signaled the bridesmaids to hold me back. Yuan shrank into a corner, her face flushed as she said pitifully, "I didn't. Mrs. Xia, you've misunderstood. This was just a part of a pre-wedding joke." No matter how I explained that she was a relationship tester, that she had already seduced several of my previous boyfriends and destroyed countless relationships of mine, Jiang Yuan only cried with a panicked expression, saying, "I really didn't. I don't even know you. I'm just a simple makeup artist. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'll kneel and apologize to you, okay? Please stop making things up about me." Everyone began whispering. Relationship tester? She must have read too many novels. There's no such person. She's probably just a paranoid wife who thinks everyone is out to steal her husband. How embarrassing. My defenses grew weak under the ridicule and mockery of the crowd, and under Xieching Yuan's weary gaze. Xieching Yuan sighed helplessly. He walked over and gently hugged me. "It's okay. If you don't like her, we'll just fire her, okay? But you should have just told me directly. Instead of misunderstanding her and spreading rumors about a young girl, I thought he was just like those guests, deceived by Jiang Yuan's lies and disguise. But it wasn't until I died that I realized his heart had already tilted toward Jiang Yuan. This time, I watched with an expressionless face as Jiang Yuan flung herself into Xieching Yuan's arms. I didn't miss the flicker of desire in his eyes again, but in the next second, he glanced at me quickly, pushed the person in his arms away, and said coldly, "This joke isn't funny. Hurry up and apologize to my wife. Wipe that mark off and redo the makeup." "No need," I said calmly. I picked up a makeup remover wipe to clean the mark on my face. Xieching Yuan let out a sigh of relief. He patted her head gently and said, "Hurry up and thank my wife. If it weren't for her soft heart and good temper, she wouldn't let you off." I interrupted him. "Xieching Yuan, there's no need to redo the makeup. Let's just cancel our wedding." Xieching Yuan looked at me in disbelief. He forced a fake laugh. "That's not a funny joke." "It's not a joke. I simply took off the wedding dress that Xieching Yuan had pulled so many strings to have flown in. I tossed it aside like a piece of trash. The wedding is off. We're breaking up." I briskly put on my coat and started to walk out. "Jiang Xian." Only then did Xieching Yuan realize I was serious. He quickly grabbed my wrist because he was suppressing his emotions. The veins on his forehead were bulging just because of a joke from a makeup artist. "You're calling off the wedding?" He looked at me with those almond eyes filled with grievance and confusion. Xin, stop messing around. How much effort did we put into this wedding? All our friends and family are here now. You can't. I shook off his hand. Ignoring the finger pointing of the people around us, I just looked at him with a cold and mocking gaze. Yuan, you know better than anyone exactly why we shouldn't get married. I'm giving you a chance to be with the person you truly love. Isn't that good? I thought I would see panic on Yuan's face. But his expression remained normal. He said with hurt and confusion, Xin. What are you talking about? Everyone knows you are the one I love most. He pointed at Yuan. Is it because of her? He said helplessly. I didn't know she would pull this kind of joke. Besides, didn't I already say? I told her to apologize to you. If you're still not satisfied, then I'll fire her. Yuan wept like a rain-drenched pear blossom and turned to run away. Yuan didn't even look at her. He looked deep into my eyes. Is that enough now? I looked at him with a flat gaze, neither agreeing nor disagreeing. Yuan's parents walked in and tried to persuade me with a reproachful tone. Yuan has already apologized to you. Playing hard to get any further is just pointless. Xian, don't you know in your heart how well Yuan treats you? Don't forget who performed your mother's surgery and who arranged for the follow-up treatment. One shouldn't be so ungrateful. My heart throbbed with a sharp pain. My mother's cerebral hemorrhage was caused by Yuan. On purpose, at the wedding with my previous fiancé, she had displayed their bedroom photos. She eloped with my fiancé in public, leaving me to be the laughingstock of the whole room. My mother collapsed in a coma from the anger. In order to get her treated, I went through a lot to transfer her to Haicheng, where I met Yuan, a neurosurgery expert. During the course of the treatment, Yuan and I gradually fell in love. I knew the threat behind Mother Xia's words. Their family was prestigious and respected. If I ruined the wedding today and made them lose face, then my mother would be kicked out of the Xia family's hospital. Mom, Yuan said, interrupting his mother's words with a firm but gentle tone. Xin is my wife. Her mother is my mother-in-law. This is what I should do. He looked at me with a pleading tone. Wife. At least for the sake of me saving your mother, don't cause a scene at the wedding today, okay? I clenched my palms. I put on an aggrieved expression. Yuan, you really don't know that makeup artist? But she just whispered to me, saying that you purposely had her give me ugly makeup just to vent her frustrations. That's why I was so angry. As soon as I said those words, the guests who had just been looking at me with displeasure all showed expressions of sympathy. Yuan's mouth twitched slightly, then he revealed a reassuring smile. She's talking nonsense. She's just jealous that you're marrying well. Seeing that I remained silent, he helplessly promised, I'll file a complaint against her right now, okay? Only then did I show a smile and say, then you must swear. If you really have a relationship with her and have betrayed me, then we will get a divorce. Yuan coaxed me, raising his hand to swear. The guest chuckled good-naturedly. You're worrying too much. Yuan only has eyes for you. Outside the door was Yuan, her face flashing with a resentful look because her plan had failed. I ignored her. The wedding ceremony ended. Just as I was about to go back to the room to change out of my wedding dress, someone covered my mouth and nose. I held my breath and closed my eyes, playing along. Just like in my previous life, Yuan and Yuan were entangled, pushing open the door of the guest room next door. The two tumbled onto the bed, making ambiguous sounds as they lost themselves in passion. I suddenly opened my eyes and quickly went downstairs. I found my in-laws, who were chatting with the guests. This time, I didn't say anything like in my previous life about Yuan drugging me and crawling into the bed. I just said with feigned concern, Mom, Dad. Yuan seems to have had too much to drink. He's not feeling well. Xia's parents, anxious for their son, along with the curious relatives, immediately followed me upstairs in a large group. Just as we reached the guest room door, we heard the suggestive sounds coming from inside. In that instant, their faces turned extremely ugly. They hurriedly tried to cover it up, but I pushed the door open directly. Yuan, are you feeling unwell? The door swung open. The two figures entangled on the bed immediately sprang up, hurriedly pulling up the quilt. Yuan, across the crowd, gave me a smug, successful smile. In an instant, it was like a bombshell had dropped outside the door. Oh my god, isn't that woman the makeup artist from this morning? It seems everything Xian said was true. God. Father Xia's face turned beet red as he shouted in anger. Yuan, look at the mess you've made. Mother Xia rushed up to pull Yuan off the bed. It's you. It must be you, you little slut. You drugged my son and made him mistake you for Xin. Son, that's what happened, right? We'll call the police. Send this bitch to prison. As soon as she said this, Yuan, who had been arrogant, was now terrified and teary-eyed. She shrank into Yuan's arms. Enough. Yuan roared, firmly protecting Yuan. He raised his head and looked at me through the crowd. His eyes were dark and heavy, without even a hint of panic or guilt. Xin, let's talk. Xia's parents cleared everyone out. Only the three of us were left in the room. I didn't think I had anything left to talk about with him. I was just wondering why, in this life, I hadn't sent Yuan to prison, nor let her die there. Yet he could still face me without any remorse. For a moment, I couldn't tell if I felt bitterness or hatred. I took off my wedding ring and threw it into the trash can. I said faintly, "You swore a vow. If you lied to me, we would divorce." Xiaqing Yuan. "I'll have the divorce agreement ready as soon as possible." Jiang Xin. Xiaqing Yuan called out to me from behind. "I will not divorce you." I whirled around, looking at him with hatred for the first time. "Then I will sue for divorce." "Go ahead and try." Xiaqing Yuan's face was blurred in the dim room. "If you dare to sue for divorce, I'll stop your mother's treatment immediately. I guarantee that not only in Haishur, but in the entire country, no hospital will take her in." Xiaqing Yuan. I gritted my teeth, my whole body trembling uncontrollably. I guessed that I must look incredibly pathetic and powerless right now because I saw Jiang Yuan revealing a cheerful smile again. "Why are you doing this to me? Since you love her, just divorce me. You can be together openly." "Why? Why do you have to drag me into this?" I looked at Xiaqing Yuan with tears in my eyes. "I'm already trying to step out of your way. I've never done anything to wrong you. Why won't you let me go?" Xiaqing Yuan spoke coldly. "You haven't wronged me. But you've wronged Yuan." My eyes widened in shock. "When did I?" Xiaqing Yuan sneered. "Every boyfriend Yuan ever dated. Didn't you steal them all away? You used the title of relationship tester as an excuse to take every single one of Yuan's boyfriends. You slept with them, driving Yuan into depression, nearly making her commit suicide. Since you took so many of her lovers away, it's only right that you feel what it's like to have your own man stolen. And as for your mother, do you dare say why she really had a brain hemorrhage? It was because she tried to help you steal a man by making a scene at Yuan's wedding. In the end, she was so insulted she fainted from anger. Your mother being half dead is nothing but karma." My head felt like it was exploding with a loud bang. Almost instinctively, I rushed in front of him and delivered a heavy, powerful slap to Xiaqing Yuan's face. But when I raised my hand again to slap Jiang Yuan, Xiaqing Yuan pushed me away. "Enough. Even now, you're still bullying Yuan." I wiped away my tears, saying word by word through gritted teeth, "I have never done those things. I have never done any of it." Xiaqing Yuan, it was Jiang Yuan. She was the one who stole my boyfriends. She was the one who eloped with my fiancé at the wedding and caused my mother's collapse. There were so many witnesses to those events, and all the chat records are still on my phone. You can check them for yourself. Enough. Xiaqing Yuan slapped me across the face, cutting off my words. His face was grim. "Even now, you still won't admit it? You still won't repent?" Jiang Xin, I never knew you were such a shameless and heartless person. You won't admit it, right? Still lying, aren't you? Then let's see just how stubborn you can be. He stood up directly, dragging me toward the stairs. Xiaqing Yuan, let me go. Ignoring my struggles, he threw me directly into the underground cold storage and locked the door tight. Let me out. Xiaqing Yuan. I pounded frantically on the cold storage door, but the only response was his cold and heartless voice. Since you refuse to admit it, let's see which is tougher, your fate or your mouth. When you finally admit it, kneel down and apologize to Yuan, and only then will I let you out. I kept banging on the cold storage door, but no one paid me any attention. The temperature dropped rapidly. I slumped helplessly to the floor, my body temperature plummeting. I don't know how much time passed before the door was opened. I looked up and saw Jiang Yuan coming over with concern to help me. My dear bestie, are you okay? Hurry out, let's go to the hospital. Looking at the sincere concern on her face, I only felt a sense of surreal dissonance. Jiang Yuan, why are you doing this to me? What have I ever done to wrong you? That makes you want to destroy me? My voice was choked with sobs. If I felt hatred, I hated Jiang Yuan, even more than Xiaqing Yuan. We clearly grew up together. We were clearly the best of friends. I once took a slap for her. While trying to stop the seniors from bullying her, she had once held my arm and said she wanted to be with me forever. But it was this very same person who later stabbed me in the heart time and time again. Jiang Yuan looked hurt and aggrieved. I was just afraid you were being fooled by a scumbag. I just wanted to find you a husband who truly loves and trusts you. See? If I hadn't tested him this time, you would have married a bad man. If some other mistress made up lies like I did in the future, wouldn't you? I shoved her hand away. I was sobbing too hard to speak. You're not doing this for my own good. You are hurting me over and over again. Jiang Yuan blinked her innocent eyes and said to me, Okay, I was wrong. Let's go to the hospital first. She forcibly helped me up, though I was already unsteady on my feet, and pushed me into a car. The car drove all the way to a hotel. I looked at her warily. What are you doing? Where are you taking me? She just gave a mysterious smile. She grabbed my weak self and dragged me into a room. The door opened. Inside was a group of sleazy-looking, burly men. She suddenly let out a scream, tore her own clothes, bashed her own head against something, and ran out. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Miss Jiang. I won't fight with you for him. I won't take anything from you. Please stop hitting me. I had a bad feeling. I struggled to support my body, trying to catch her. Before I could even catch my breath, the door was kicked open by someone. It was Xiaqing Yuan. After he saw me and the sleazy man behind me, his eyes turned red instantly. He slapped me across the face. Jiang Xian, do you have a death wish? Not only do you not repent for your mistakes, but you want to continue your revenge on Yuan Yuan. You actually wanted to ruin her. How could you be so wicked? I didn't. I yelled, biting my lip. It was Jiang Yuan who opened the cold storage and brought me here. Enough. Only I know the code to the cold storage. How could Yuan possibly open it? Clearly, you secretly opened it yourself and kidnapped Yuan to this place. Xiaqing Yuan said through gritted teeth, fine. Even when I threatened you with your own life, you wouldn't bow your head. Then I want to see if your mother's life can make you bow. My eyes went wide. What are you going to do? Xiaqing Yuan gave an order directly. Kick Jiang Xian's mother out of the hospital immediately. No one is allowed to care for her. No. I cried out and threw myself at his feet. I'll apologize. You want me to apologize to Jiang Yuan? I promise you. Just don't touch my mother. It's too late, Xiaqing Yuan said coldly. Whenever Yuan wakes up and forgives you, that's when I'll let someone care if your mother lives or dies. I turned my gaze toward Jiang Yuan in his arms, only to see her immediately close her eyes and pretend to be unconscious. I wept in despair. I beg of you, Xiaqing Yuan. You can do whatever you want to me. Just please don't hurt my mother, okay? Jiang Yuan, I've given you everything you wanted. Can you just let me go, please? My only response was Xiaqing Yuan's resolute back as he walked away. Watch her and make sure she stays on her knees on the floor. If she dares to stand up, break her legs. 1 hour. 2 hours. I wept and prayed for Jiang Yuan to show some mercy. I waited to wake up and stop Xiaqing Yuan, but all I got was a call from his assistant. His voice cold and indifferent. I'm sorry, madam, your mother has passed away. Because you weren't there to sign and claim the body. We've already sent it to the disposal plant. No. I cried out in despair, vomiting a large mouthful of blood with every sob. The bodyguards received a message from Xiaqing Yuan. They dragged me up from the floor. Mr. Xia is hosting a birthday party for Miss Jiang tonight. He wants you cleaned up. To go there and apologize on your knees. As a gift for Miss Jiang. Like a walking corpse. I followed them into the car. Once home, I went into the bedroom and started packing. But after waiting a long time, they didn't see me come out. When they kicked the door open, I was nowhere to be found. They only saw an exquisitely wrapped gift box on the bed. Xiaqing Yuan had a smile on his face, as he watched the girl blow out her candles. Coquettishly handing out pieces of cake, but he felt a twinge of irritability in his heart because Jiang Xian had yet to arrive at the party. He figured he had scared her enough. He just wanted her to apologize to Jiang Yuan to put an end to the mistakes she had made in the past. Was it really that hard? Just as his frustration was peaking, the bodyguard hurried in. Xiaqing Yuan's eyes lit up, but when he couldn't find Jiang Xian's figure, they darkened again. Where is Jiang Xian? The bodyguards were breaking into a cold sweat. They hurriedly took out the gift box and said, "This is a gift from the madam. She asked you to open it." Xiaqing Yuan reached out and opened the box. Xiaqing Yuan took the box, glanced at it with a furrowed brow, and tossed it aside. What's in here? A necklace or jewelry? He sneered. And said impatiently, go tell Jiang Xian not to think she can appease us with some trivial little trinket, no matter what. She must come here today and apologize to Yuan in person. The bodyguard said nervously, but madam, she's gone. What? Xiaqing Yuan froze for a moment, his face turning grim. Does she think running away from home will stop me from holding her accountable for the wrong she's committed? After a few moments, he regained his composure and said dismissively, fine. If she wants to run away, let her. Doesn't she care deeply about her mother's safety? Go tell the hospital to stop her mother's treatment. Then send her a text message saying her mother's treatment continues only when she returns. The bodyguard said in utter shock, Mr. Xia. Didn't your mother-in-law already die? Xiaqing Yuan kicked over the table in front of him. What nonsense are you talking? He snapped his head around to glare at the bodyguard, his eyes dark. Her mother has been staying in the hospital just fine. How could she be dead? The bodyguard's face turned pale with fear, his voice trembling. But Mr. Xia. Didn't you order the old lady to be kicked out of the hospital? Xiaqing Yuan's brow furrowed deeply. That was just to scare Jiang Xian. I never actually issued that order, he added coldly. Her mother has been receiving treatment in the hospital. Who would dare touch her? The bodyguard swallowed hard, his voice dropping even lower. Then, was the call I received from your assistant fake too? The assistant said the old lady was dead and had been sent straight to the disposal plant. Nonsense. Xiaqing Yuan's face darkened instantly. He waved his hand. Bring the assistant to me. Soon, the man was brought in. The assistant's face was pale, his forehead covered in cold sweat. Xiaqing Yuan stared at him, emphasizing every word. When did I call you, and tell you to throw her out? The assistant's Adam's apple bobbed, his voice tight. Mr. Xia, you didn't call me. He paused for a second. But I received a voice message from you. The air seemed to freeze instantly. Xie Yuan's expression showed a moment of stagnation and confusion before he could confirm further. The main door was kicked open. A disheveled man rushed in. His eyes bloodshot. Charging straight toward Jiang Yuan, he grabbed her wrist. His voice was a hoarse roar. I've been looking for you for years. If someone hadn't posted on social media, I wouldn't have known you were hiding in Haishur. Jiang Yuan's face turned deathly pale in an instant. The man glared at her. You played with my feelings. Ruined my wedding. Convinced me to elope. And then dumped me as soon as you turned around. Do you have any idea what's become of me? My company is gone. My reputation is ruined. Everyone is cursing me. His voice grew increasingly savage. And now you've latched onto a new man? He suddenly looked at Xie Yuan, his gaze cold and sinister. Is this the new guy you've hooked up with? He sneered. Don't tell me it's because of Jiang Xian again. Jiang Yuan suddenly let out a scream, shrinking back. She clutched Xie Yuan's clothes tightly, her voice trembling. Qing Yuan, save me. He won't stop harassing me. I really don't know how he found me. Before she could finish her sentence, her body went limp and she fainted. Xie Yuan's face darkened. Drag him out. The bodyguards immediately stepped forward, pinning the man down and dragging him out. The man was still struggling, roaring, Jiang Yuan, you liar. You'll die a miserable death. His voice was cut off by the heavy slamming of the door. The banquet hall fell silent once again. Xie Yuan looked down at Jiang Yuan in his arms, his brow furrowed tight. He called for the family doctor, who confirmed she was just frightened and needed rest. Xie Yuan sat by the bed, his gaze heavy as he stared at Jiang Yuan, who was faking her faint. He spoke up. Yuan, who was he? Jiang Yuan's eyelashes fluttered. She quickly opened her eyes, her rims red. Her voice was aggrieved. He's the boyfriend I was supposed to marry. She bit her lip. Tears sliding down, but then Jiang Xian stole him away. He ruined our wedding for her. And eloped with her. Her voice dropped lower and lower. Later, Jiang Xian got bored and dumped him. So he's been harassing me ever since. She looked up at Xie Yuan cautiously. I've moved on. She gently grabbed his sleeve. Her voice soft. Qing Yuan, I have you now. Her face flushed slightly with a hint of shyness. You're the one I love now. She paused, then whispered, Jiang Xian is not a good woman. She's selfish and promiscuous. Her eyes shimmered. Divorce her. Qing Yuan, I know. You have feelings for me too, don't you? Xie Yuan was silent for a while. He gently pushed Jiang Yuan away. I won't divorce Jiang Xian. Jiang Yuan's face turned white. Why? Xie Yuan said, I admit I have feelings for you. But the only woman I'll ever be married to is Jiang Xian. He paused. Then continued, everything I've done lately was just me getting revenge on her for you. Hasn't she stolen so many men from you? Now she knows how it feels. Jiang Yuan was stunned. Xie Yuan said, this ends here. He looked at her. When I find her, I'll make her apologize to you. You can start over. He spoke in a steady tone. I'll watch Jiang Xian to make sure she never bullies you again. In the future, you can find a boyfriend in peace and live a good life. Jiang Yuan's face was grim. She gave a bitter, tearful smile. But you're the one I love now. Why is the person I love always stolen by Jiang Xian? Xie Yuan frowned. Subconsciously, he felt Jiang Yuan was wrong. He had been with Jiang Xian first, and Yuan was the one who came later. How could he be considered stolen by Jiang Xian? Xie Yuan suppressed his thoughts and simply said, get some rest. With that, he turned and left. In the car, Xie Yuan ordered, to the hospital. The car soon came to a stop. Xie Yuan got out and walked straight into the ward. The nurse saw him. Mr. Xie, how is Jiang Xian's mother doing now? The nurse was taken aback. Didn't you already have someone transfer the patient out of the hospital? Xie Yuan frowned. When did I have her transferred? The nurse said with a bewildered look, didn't you send a voice message to your special assistant? We all heard it. It was your voice telling us to transfer the old lady out. After the patient was transferred, no other hospital received her. She died on the spot. The body has already been taken away. Xie Yuan's face changed. He immediately had the assistant called over. The assistant hurriedly took out his phone to show him. Mr. Xie, it really is your voice, and it was sent by Miss Zhang, telling me to follow your instructions. Miss Yuan, Xie Yuan's heart tightened. That inexplicable panic surged up once again. Go investigate Jiang Yuan immediately and her history with Jiang Xian. In Xie Yuan's mind, the image of me, heartbroken after learning of my mother's death, suddenly surfaced. The panic and regret in his heart were uncontrollable, as if something had spiraled out of his control. His face was dark. Find Jiang Xian for me immediately. If something happens to her, you're all fired. Xie Yuan took a deep breath and said, to the disposal plant, retrieve my mother-in-law's body. Arrange for a proper burial. By the time Xie Yuan returned home, it was already dark. The moment the door closed, the whole house felt excessively quiet. He stood in the entryway, not moving inside immediately. His gaze fell on the living room sofa, the coffee table. The photos on the wall were all of the two of them together. They had decorated their wedding home piece by piece. Back then, Jiang Xian had held the design blueprints, gesturing in front of him. Put a rug here. The color should be a bit lighter. The sofa shouldn't be too hard. You'll be uncomfortable if you sit for too long. He had said with a smile, you're working too hard. Why don't we leave it to the renovation company? But Jiang Xian had looked at him and smiled. That won't do. This is our home. I want you, every single day you come back, to feel my love for you. He remembered when they first started dating. He often worked late into the night. She would wait outside the office. One time when he came out, she had fallen asleep leaning against a chair, still holding the meal she had brought him. At that moment, his heart had melted completely. He had only one thought. This woman. He must love her with all his heart for the rest of his life. If only he hadn't met Jiang Yuanyuan. Xie Yuan sat on the sofa, resting his head in his hands. The house was very quiet, so quiet it felt empty. He suddenly felt a sense of daze. Was the Jiang Xian who loved him so deeply really the person Jiang Yuanyuan described? Promiscuous and selfish, falling for every man she saw? His mind was a tangled mess. This doubt made him feel so panicked he could barely breathe. His gaze fell on the coffee table. The gift box was the one he had brought back from the party. He had just tossed it there earlier. He stared at it for a while, then suddenly stood up and walked over to pick it up. A thought suddenly crossed his mind. Could there be a clue to her whereabouts inside? Or an explanation she had left behind? Or perhaps an olive branch she was extending to him? He hurriedly opened the box. What he found inside was a stack of printed documents. They spilled out and scattered all over the floor. The top one was a divorce agreement. Xie Yuan froze completely. He looked down at the divorce agreement. His fingers curling inward bit by bit, he leaned down and picked up the papers scattered on the floor one by one. They were chat logs. The profile picture was Jiang Yuanyuan's. Xie Yuan flipped through the pages one by one. The chat logs were dense. The top one was a message from Jiang Yuanyuan. Dear bestie. I've tested him for you. This man is no good. Below was a photo of a kiss, clearly showing Jiang Yuanyuan with a strange man. And the other person in the chat log was Jiang Xian, begging her in pain and humility to let her go. Xie Yuan's finger twitched. He continued flipping. See? He's very proactive. I barely had to entice him and he took the bait. And he even said he likes a more exciting style. You're usually so well behaved. He must find you boring, right? You can't have a man like this. The next page was another photo with text. Look. He just asked me to change clothes to roleplay with him. This kind of closet pervert is the most disgusting. He looks so serious on the surface, but he's different in private. You don't still want to marry him, do you? Xie Yuan's breathing grew heavier with every second. He flipped to the next section. Dear bestie, I tested another one for you. This one's no good either. Your taste is really not that great, but it's okay. With me around, I'll help you filter out all the scumbags. Further down, he just said he wanted to take me to a hotel. It's hilarious. How could you like someone like this? Don't worry, I've already vetted him for you. No need to thank me. Message after message. The tone was lighthearted, as if she were sharing something fun, but every word was a stab to the heart. Xie Yuan flipped to that wedding later on. The chat log was still there. Dear bestie, I prepared a surprise for you. You'll definitely never forget it. Below was a screenshot from a hidden camera video. Jiang Yuanyuan, wearing a wedding dress, smiled at the camera. Look, he's leaving with me now. Do you think he loves you or me? Don't worry, I'm helping you. It's better to see this kind of man for who he is early on. The last one, I've saved you once again. You have to be nicer to me. Xie Yuan felt as if he had been hit over the head with a club. His mind went completely blank. Just then, the door was pushed open. The assistant rushed in, his face grim. Mr. Xie, everything has been investigated. Xie Yuan slowly raised his head. The assistant's voice was tense. Miss Jiang Yuanyuan is the one who was the so-called mistress. Xie Yuan didn't speak. The assistant continued. I've questioned the madam's friends in her hometown. All these years, she has spared no effort to seduce every single one of the madam's boyfriends. She would sleep with them, take evidence, and send it to Miss Jiang Xian, causing every one of Miss Jiang's relationships to fail, including that wedding. It was Miss Jiang's wedding with her ex. Instead, it was Miss Yuanyuan who actively approached him and induced him to elope. Xie Yuan's breath hitched. He looked down at the evidence in his hand. Every word matched perfectly. Just then, there was movement at the door. The man who had caused a scene at the birthday party was brought in. He saw Xie Yuan and suddenly laughed. As he laughed, tears fell down. So you're her new man now? He stared at Xie Yuan, his voice cracking. Brother, you're just like me. We're both fools played by her. Xie Yuan looked at him without a word, but the man seemed to have been repressed for a long time, letting it all out in a rush. That's how she approached me back then too. saying how pitiful she was. How bad XIN was. She took photos and sent them to XIN, saying I was a scumbag. His voice began to break down bit by bit. On my wedding day, she came to me in a wedding dress, saying the person she had always loved was me. I was possessed and ran away with her. He raised his head and stared fixedly at Xie Qingyuan. And the result? She dumped me after she'd had her fun. I became a scumbag in everyone's eyes. My company was gone, my wedding was ruined, and the person was gone too. He smiled. Now it's your turn. The air fell silent. Xie Qingyuan stood there motionless. Only one thought remained in his mind. He was wrong. Completely wrong. He remembered Jiang Xian kneeling on the floor, crying, I didn't do it. I've never done that. He remembered his own slap landing on her face. Remembered the coldness and her hysterical cries. In an instant, he felt as if he had fallen into an ice cave. The assistant's voice rang out again. Mr. Xie. He let out a sharp cry, clutching his phone, his face pale. Miss Jiang Xian has already instructed a lawyer to formally sue Xie's hospital and you personally. The grounds are illegal eviction of a patient resulting in death. Evidence has been submitted. It's being released to the media simultaneously. Xie Qingyuan snapped his head up. The assistant continued, in addition, Miss Jiang has also released a video. It's a clip of you and Miss Yuanyuan at the birthday party. With trembling hands, Xie Qingyuan picked up his phone and saw the post Jiang Xian had made. Everything Jiang Yuanyuan had done all these years and how he had harmed his own wife for Yuanyuan's sake, leading to his mother-in-law's death, was all in the post. The entertainment world had exploded. The assistant's voice was already shaking. Xie's hospital is being investigated. You've also been notified. Suspension of duties, medical license suspended. You may face criminal liability in the future. Xie Qingyuan stood there. All sounds seemed to fade away. Only one thought remained in his head. He had to find her. He had to see her in person, even if she didn't want to see him, even if she hated him. He had to say I'm sorry to her face. The moment I left the Xie residence, I mobilized every connection I could. I had only one goal, to get justice for my mother. The lawyers worked through the night to compile evidence. The case was filed quickly. Progress was faster than anyone expected. Xie's hospital was held accountable. Xie Qingyuan was suspended. His name was all over the internet. Scumbag abusing his power, disregarding human life. Everyone was cursing him. Jiang Yuanyuan's deeds were also thoroughly exposed. She completely became a pariah, a rat crossing the street. Later, I heard Xie Qingyuan had a massive fight with her. During the struggle, Xie Qingyuan gave her a shove. She lost her footing with that one push and tumbled down the stairs. Jiang Yuanyuan suffered a major hemorrhage on the spot and was rushed into the operating room. The doctor urged Xie Qingyuan to sign the consent forms, but he refused, his face cold and impassive. He only said he wanted Jiang Yuanyuan to pay with her life. In the end, the child was lost, and her uterus couldn't be saved either. When I heard the news, I didn't feel much of anything. I just felt it was a bit of a pity. After all, in my previous life, I was the one who lost my life. I went to see Jiang Yuanyuan. She was crying and screaming, trying to rush out of bed to hit me like a madwoman, but her leg was broken, and she likely wouldn't be able to get out of bed for the rest of her life. I stood at the door, looking down at her, and asked her just one thing, Jiang Yuanyuan, why did you do this to me? What did I ever do to make you hate me so much? She stared at me, and then she suddenly laughed, a hideous smile. You're still asking me why? Her voice was hoarse. Jiang Xian, don't you know for yourself? She gritted her teeth. You aren't as pretty as me. Your family isn't as well off as mine. But why? Her voice rose bit by bit. Why does everyone like you? The teachers protected you. The classmates revolved around you. When I was bullied, it was you who stood up for me. Everyone praised your kindness, saying you were a good person. She laughed through tears. But what about me? I was the one being beaten. I was the one being bullied. Why did you get to enjoy all the benefits in the end? She stared at me. You helped me, just to let everyone see how good you are. The more you helped me, the more like a piece of trash I became. The men you found were better and better, treating you well and staying loyal. And me? I had nothing. She stared at me intently. I couldn't accept it. Why should you have everything, while I have nothing? So I stole your man, your family, your parents, everything you had. I wanted it all. She smiled and said, I wanted you to have nothing. I looked at her, suddenly finding it all so absurd. I never thought the misery of my two lives was all just because of her jealousy. I didn't give her another look, and turned to walk out. Later, I heard she jumped from the hospital building and died on the spot. For a long time after that, Xie Qingyuan tried to contact me through his lawyer, letter after letter, request after request for a meeting, all of which I refused. On the day of the sentencing, the courtroom was very quiet. Once the verdict was read, Xie Qingyuan was sentenced to prison. As the police prepared to take him away, at that very moment, he suddenly broke free and rushed toward me, shouting, XIN, before anyone could react. He knelt directly in front of me. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was tricked by her. Those things, those words, she made them all up. At the time, I really thought. He couldn't go on, only repeating, I'm sorry. If I could do it over, I would never believe her. I would never treat you that way. I looked at him without saying a word. His eyes were full of memories. Jiang Xin, I really know I was wrong. Give me another chance, please? I gave a small smile. Xiaqing Yuan, I looked at him and asked him, word by word, you had so many chances to investigate, yet you never verified the truth once. His face turned pale bit by bit. I continued, were you really tricked, or did you just happen to need a reason to cheat on me openly? He froze completely. His lips turning white, unable to say a single word. The bailiff stepped forward to drag him away. He was still looking at me, his gaze filled with total despair. His cries of Xin faded into the distance. I didn't look back. I turned and walked out of the courtroom. The days that followed were very quiet. I moved away from that city. To start over, I took over some of the assets my mother left behind, and handled all the legal loose ends. I personally chose her final resting place. I visit her every month, bringing the flowers she loved and talking to her. The wind blows against me, as if mom is giving me a gentle hug. This time, I have finally walked out of the shadows.